Police, as part of standard operating procedure, will have considered the possibility that a car might drive into the tens of thousands of people attending a local Vancouver street party. But they didn't think it was likely.
There were no known threats to the event or to the Filipino community. We determined that dedicated police officers and heavy vehicle barricades would not be deployed at the festival site.
But what we know now,
I hear boom, boom, boom. And I turn around and say to my mom, do you think there are gunshots?
is that just after 8 p.m. on Saturday, April 26th, there were no gunshots. A man drove his SUV through a crowd of people.
At least 11 have died so far, aged 5 to 65.
It was horrific. It was just people were screaming, shouting. There were people running back saying, "You gotta leave, it's really bad, it's really bad."
I'll show you what happened and who prosecutors believe was behind the wheel in an attack that has shattered a community. It's easier to understand what happened when I show you where it happened. This is John Oliver High School at the corner of 41st and Fraser in Vancouver. Most of the celebration, according to police, was right here on school grounds. But it was also bigger than that, spreading onto some nearby side streets too. The occasion, what's known in the Philippines as Lapu-Lapu Day. That's the name of an indigenous chieftain who fought Spanish colonization in the 16th century. It's meant to be a day of pride, a day of community, and it was, by all accounts, both of these things, until just after the festival was slated to end. Not long after 8 p.m., things were shutting down. It was mainly the food trucks parked behind the high school on 43rd that were still doing business. We can see on Google Street View, this is just a side street, typically pretty quiet. If I swing around here, you can see this is the high school where the main event will have happened. But this street is really only wide enough maybe for food trucks on both sides and then max 2 lanes up the middle, so one in either direction.
Although it was scheduled to wrap up at 8 p.m., there were still many people in the area when the incident occurred. The vehicle that struck festival goers approached the festival area from the west on East 43rd Avenue. It entered a small crowd enclosed area and drove through the crowd. There were hundreds of festival goers still on the street, and multiple people were struck by the vehicle.
I hear boom, boom, boom.
He just pushed the gas all the way through the whole block right there, crashing into like everyone in his way.
This was the vehicle, a black SUV, its front crumpled in from many, many hits. And this is the man accused of doing the driving. After slamming through the crowd of people, he apparently got out on foot, and the people around him held him until police arrived. His name is Kaiji Adam Lowe, 30 years old, and someone who had already had dealings with Vancouver police.
I can also tell you that the person we have in custody does have a significant history of interactions with police and healthcare professionals related to mental health. So he's known to us.
Police wouldn't speculate on a motive, but they did say nothing suggests this was a terrorist act, as in something politically or religiously or ideologically driven with some specific intent to intimidate. And the charges laid yesterday seem to support the possibility that this was not planned. 8 counts of second-degree murder.
I walked down the fence line of the sidewalk and I started seeing bodies and injured people. I saw a lady yelling, saying she can't feel her legs, and the paramedics were helping her.
I remember seeing early casualty numbers, unknown at first. Then it jumped to 9, after that to 11, and police say the number could still go up. There were dozens of people hurt, and those who were critically injured, meaning unstable vital signs, uncertain outcome, they were transferred to 9 different hospitals throughout Metro Vancouver. So that's a lot of people who are under the most urgent of care right now. The Filipino community itself is trying to figure out what explains this attack.
It was meant to be a day filled with music, dancing, food, laughter. But it turned out to be a traumatizing day to the whole community.
Even the president of the Philippines himself, urging people to stay calm and stay vigilant. but it may be some time before we get any satisfying answers. I have seen reports where the suspect is quoted as saying, "I'm sorry," when he was surrounded by bystanders who had detained him, but we're not likely to hear much more from him anytime soon. His next court hearing is in a month from now.